Oh, do you have like a weightlifting goal right now?
You know, for me, as far as lifting goes, I kind of had a goal during my first year when I transitioned from plant-based to kind of the hybrid diet that I do now. I wanted to see what it could do. So I was doing a lot of, I wouldn't say bodybuilding, but a lot of just trying to elicit hypertrophy in my body, trying to gain muscle and stay lean. I was able to put on at the end of that bulk, if you will, 35 pounds, and my body fat percentage didn't change at all.
Yeah.
So at one point I got up to 190, and that was like 6 months ago. And over the past 6 months, my goal has been different. I kind of met all my goals, and I blew out of the water what I thought my results would be. I would have been happy with putting on 10 pounds of lean muscle in a year. I've been working out since I was 12 years old. So to put on 35 pounds of muscle in a little over a year was pretty astounding. And at this point, 6 months later, I cover around 180, 177 pounds. Body fat is still goes between 9% when it's super low to about 12% when I'm a little thicker. Right now, it's probably like in the 10% range. So 180 pounds, 10%. And my goal right now is just to move and enjoy my movement sessions. So I do not really have a really strong set programming for weightlifting, but I can tell you that I lift weights a lot. I do probably some type of resistance training 5 to 6 times a week. And on top of that, I move my body in lots of different ways. I've been kind of obsessed with converting vans to campers and getting old retro trailers and rebuilding them. And it's super physical. So I'll do, you know, a nice weightlifting session in the morning, go for a long walk sometime during the day. I'm a obsessive hiker. I love mountain climbing and hiking. But my new fitness has been spending 10 hours on top of my normal day building vans.
Hmm.
And that's just been a really fun way to do something different, to get more movement into my life. And I'm a what I call a generalist. I don't really believe in picking one thing and just sticking with that one thing forever. I like to get kind of decent at a lot of different things so I can speak a lot of physical languages. If you were to look at like my resistance training, I'm doing everything from barbells to gymnastics rings to kettlebells to body weight stuff. My bread and butter, though, my favorite exercise, and this is something that I'll always do, is pull-ups. I think pull-ups are the most underrated upper body movement there is. When I was, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, at the point where I can only do like 4 or 5 pull-ups, my back looked a certain way. And I can, without warming up, jump up on any pull-up bar, gymnastics rings, and bust out 20 pull-ups with ease. And my back is big. My back is probably the best body part I have in terms of hypertrophy. So I love pull-ups, and I love overhead press, and I love to do anything for my legs that involves not doing squats. I love squats, but they are hell, and they're not fun for me. So I like to run sprints, dance, do the old silly speed skater shuffle is what I call it, when you're just jumping back and forth, plyometrics, whatever I can do to keep it interesting. And if I get to a place where my workouts, I'm dreading them and they're boring, I'm going to do something else, but I'm going to do something all the time. So my goal right now is to stay interested and stay in that place where fitness is fun. I like to involve other people as much as possible. Right now, that's really hard because of what's going on, but generally my workouts will consist of meeting up with a bunch of friends in a park, hanging gymnastics rings, everyone bring a certain tool and just kind of get after it.
Yeah, yeah, that does sound fun. Fortunately, my gym is closed. Is your gym closed? Yeah. So
My gym is closed. Yep.
yeah. So I do a jog around the neighborhood, and there's actually a tree branch right outside my door, front door, and I'll do like 5 sets of 10 pull-ups, and that's been my workout. And yeah, this is the only thing I can do right now.
Yeah, well, you're doing something, and I think that's key. Is no matter, and also I think people will hear my message and they'll misconstrue it. Oh, Rob spends hours a day in the gym. No, I don't. I really don't. I do micro workouts. Sometimes I like to spend an hour and a half in a gym, but that's not very usual. I like to be a little bit more natural, and I am an extremely ADD person. So I'll smash 20 minutes in the morning, do work for a couple hours, spend 10 minutes doing pull-ups midday, then go back to work, then finish my day off with a long walk and a 20-minute strength building session, and then work on a van for 8 hours. And when you calculate that all together and see what that equates to in a week, it's a lot of physical activity. And I think it makes it a lot easier when you don't put the stress on yourself of, okay, at this time, I have to go to the gym for this many minutes, and then that's it for the entire day. If that's all you can do, great. But you don't have to be a slave to the 30-minute or hour and a half long workout in the gym. You can break it up. And I suggest that people, instead of looking at fitness as I do this for 30 minutes and then that's it, is how many different ways throughout a single day can I move my body in different ways and make my heart rate go up and lift something that's heavy and do something. You'd be surprised at how much I've gotten gains in my lower forearms and my arms from holding a nail gun and working on the van. You know, it's like, first month I did that, I could barely hold that thing up. And by 6 months into building vans, it was just like left hand, right hand, you know, and it didn't notice. It wasn't a workout, but I got gains, I got results. And as long as you keep it fun and mix it up, I think that anyone can have a high level of fitness.
Yeah, yeah. People who don't like working out think it's a chore, but for us who like working out, it's like the endorphin release feels amazing, and two, when you notice the abs coming out or your arms getting bigger, it's like, oh, now I'm doing this for the rest of my life. I can't stop working out. And
100%.
yeah, I'm in the best shape of my life. I now have an 8-pack, which I've never had before, and that's a combination of the diet and working out. So I will continue doing that, and I'm trying to get to like 185, 190ish. I think that's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep inching away at it, you know. And I know you know how to keep consistent. And for most people, it's like they're like, well, I only gained 5 pounds of muscle in a year. Okay, well, 10 years from now, that'll be 50 pounds. And I can't tell you how many thin people that I've worked with for 5 years who 5 years ago, they looked like a typical person who's just thin. And now, because they were thin and have that natural body type, and they took the time and they got those half a pound gains every 2 months, well, 10 years later, 5 years later, rather, 50 pounds of pure lean muscle is a completely different looking human being.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you just look so much better, and you fit in your clothes more, and then you're just attractive to the other sex more. And so there's so much benefits from just taking care of your body through food, through working out, through lifestyle. So
For sure. For sure.